This is so funny.
Oh, yes. All right, do you guys have an EP called Beware the Misfits? Yeah, it's a 12-incher.
That's Greg. That's Greg right there. He's asking about Beware.
From England. Is that still available?
So there is our hero, who this man right here, who taped this interview that we are just making a meal out of. That's Greg himself calling up.
Hello, Glenn? No, hold on. Oh, yes. All right, do you guys have an EP called Beware the Misfits? Yeah, it's a 12-incher from England. Is that still available at all? Well, I know they put it out again. But I don't know. They're being real sneaky about it because they haven't paid us any money for that. So you got to be, you got to look for it. And you can find it like a lot of places in New York. How many songs do you have on it? 7. 7? Yeah.
And you know what's so crazy? It'd be like, Greg, go fucking Google it, man. But it's like, Greg can't Google it. Greg, if Greg doesn't have a copy or if Greg doesn't have a fanzine, the only way Greg's going to find out is if he calls up Glenn Danzig on a live radio show and ask him for this information that he can then write it down. There is no Misfit Central. There is no internet. It just blows your mind how information back then was it was so hard to come by information when you were into something that was obscure, not something that was common, not something you could go to the library for, not something you could look up, microfilm and newspaper reels. Stuff like this was extra. I mean, it was extra special because you had to really dig. You had to really look for it. You had to find the right people. Information was like a commodity, I guess, in a weird kind of way.
What's your favorite horror movie? My favorite horror movie? That's tough. I like a lot of them. I like the gory ones. The ones that ain't too stupid, but are still gory and gruesome and graphic. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Good job. Good job, Greg.
We're going to go back to some more music for a few minutes. We'll take some more calls in a little while. We were just talking about 3 Hits from Hell.
Yeah.
About horror hotel.
What?
It was a terrible time. I really can't imagine. I mean, for me personally, so I grew up with computers in the sense of I'm born in 85. I probably am using my first computer in 1993, 1992 in the classroom because they started us really young on computers. By 1996, there's AOL. So I'm starting to connect with people in chat rooms. Winamp comes out. 1998 through 1999 is the continuation of this AOL culture. And then the year 2000, 2001 breaks, you have everything switches over to AIM. Napster breaks wide open. Internet evolves from like Geocities and like, what was this other Angel Fire, all those websites, and like it explodes. And then you have Facebook and MySpace come. And then before you know it, it's like information is at your fingertips. I was talking about this on that episode with Russell and Ramey Stein. It's like information. If you had to get information, you got it from a web ring. A web ring was like an alliance of websites. This is like the infancy of the internet. This is like if I was born in the year 1900 and I'm talking about the first black and white TVs that came out in like 1931 or something. Like, there were web rings and you could find, they were like the first niche. It was the first place we can go for niche fandom, I got into the Misfits and Samhain in 85 and you literally had to go meet people to even learn what albums existed. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what that was like. And that's why when you think about the zine culture and the fanzine culture, how incredibly important it really wasn't. It wasn't so much like, it wasn't an arts and craft project. It was a legitimate news source where people got their information. I mean, that's how people found out about bands. That's how people found out about discographies or filmographies where they read interviews. Nobody was interviewing the Plasmatics in People magazine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had to go and get these zines, and like they, and that's where something like Big Takeover magazine, which Jack Rabbit did, had been doing since 1980 or 1981. It's crazy. All right, we got to get through this interview. We're almost done.